And I knew I was gonna cry, but shit, alone? Hello, and welcome back to this week's episode of Yip to My App. I'm still Erica Starr, and today I'm here with
Taylor.
And today we're talking about something really uncomfortable, really overwhelming, really sad. It's aging parents. And this is from the POV of 20-something-year-olds. So our opinions are going to change as we get older, and our parents are going to get older, and everyone's going to get older. And, we all know what happens at the end of that. So this is almost like grieving before the worst happens. And not that it's going to happen soon, because it's not. I'm just saying this is for anyone who needs the comfort of like, no, it's okay. We all think this at some point. And yeah, as kids who are no longer kids, it starts creeping up on you. So let's give you guys some context about who our parents are. So who are Taylor's parents?
Yes. I'll say their names and then I'll probably just refer to them as mom and dad for the rest of the episode. My mom's name is Sally and my dad's name is Faris. So my dad is 62 and my mom is 59. My dad actually just retired this year as well. So his age has felt a lot more present because I feel like he's, when it's like I feel like there's two people who retire. You get the people who are like, yeah, I retired and now I'm going to live my life or whatever. And then there's the people who like drag their retirement out. Like they like really want you to feel like they just finished like the longest marathon in the world. Like that's my dad right now. He retired back in March.
Yeah, I feel like I've been hearing about him retiring for a hot minute.
Yeah, he posts about it every day on Facebook. He posted yesterday. He's like, now I ride off into the sunset. And I'm like, what?
All right.
Like he ages himself so hard. He talks about how him and my mom are in their golden years. I hate when he says that. He said it to my grandma like right before she died. And I like... I don't think he really realizes that, but like he was like, you're in your golden era. And I was like, what, like Golden Girls or like...
He said that to your grandmother?
Yes. So
like
I don't
the Golden
like,
Gates? Like that's
I don't
crazy.
know. Like I hate when he says it. Like especially like don't throw my mom in there. She's still in her 50s. Like you might be in your golden era, but she got work tomorrow. Don't fucking blame me. And yeah, like they've been together for a really long time. They had me. I'd feel like it's considered at a normal age. My mom was like 34, but I feel like for the early 2000s, I wouldn't say late in life, but like they also had my sister. My mom was like 18 years old. So there's a big gap there. I say me and my brother like our own like generation in the family. Like we were the first Gen Z of the family. All of my other cousins and stuff are 15 to 18 years older than me. So it's been a very interesting dynamic to like, because I feel like I'm watching everybody age. Like I feel like legitimately like almost 2 decades behind everybody.
Yeah. And so what would you say your dynamic has been with both of your parents just throughout your life? Like what are the main personality traits that you would attach to your mom and the ones you would attach to your dad?
I feel like my parents were like the OG, like good cop, bad cop. Like you talk to your dad when he's in a good, like, no, you ask your mom for something and then she's like, well, let me wait till your father's in a good mood and we'll talk to him about it or whatever. Which was also really funny because my mom, like they had very different work schedules. Like my dad worked like 6 to 2. My mom worked like a typical 9 to 5. So like after school, like all of those things, like were with my dad. Like taking me and my brother to any extracurriculars and stuff like that was pretty much always exclusively with my father. He was very much like the I'm running errands with the kids kind of like parent. Like I vividly remember going to like Pathmark and to Verizon and like just being there for like ever, like always. Like my parent, like I think that also just comes from like when you raise a whole child, like they're 16 years old and then you start over and it's like, well, I got shit to do. Come on, get in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's kind of how I remember it. But like they were very like, well, why am I saying were? They are active parents. Growing up, they were very hands-on too. Like my dad had me and my brother, he was in baseball, I was in softball. So like he would like, we'd go to practice and then I still have to practice with my dad. Like I feel like every day was like baseball and stuff like that. I was a Girl Scout. That was like the one thing with like my mom and my sister and stuff like that. And like very much like I'm very grateful, like very physically present. Like I feel like I don't have like those memories of it. It's like an important thing and like they weren't there, or like sometimes like if my dad couldn't be there because of work, like it was what it was. But I
Yeah.
vividly remember like them, they are in every memory of like something that's important, they're there, and I feel really grateful for that.
Cool. Let me talk about my parents, as if I don't talk about them enough on this damn podcast. Okay. One thing I like to say about both my parents is that I am half and half of both of them. That's one thing's for sure, between my personality, my looks, the way that I act, the way that I speak, the way that I go about situations. I am very much both of them. So let's start with my mom. My mom is very well spoken, very well put together. But at the same time, you give her one Corona and she's bouncing off the walls. You know, she's you know she's got layers. My mom is someone who I can speak to about my feelings. You know, she's someone who, how do I put this? Like, I grew up with her because she had me at 21. So like I was like the test run kid. Like I was my parents' first kid. So, you know, my mom was young and, you know, she would work from 4 to midnight. So she'd take me to school and then she'd pick me up from school and then she'd be off to work. That's how it went. And then before I started kindergarten, she was always hands-on with like all the education stuff. Like I have several memories like going to museums, specifically the Children's Museum, and like I don't know if it's the same museum, but there's one by the seaport.
The
She
Intrepid?
used to take, yeah, I used to go to the Intrepid too.
My dad
But
took
that
me
was,
there
I think that
too.
was more of my dad's thing. Yeah, we're not at my dad yet. But my mom took me on all her errands, specifically shopping. I remember shopping with her a lot. I remember one time I got butthurt because she was talking to my aunt and she just said something like, now that I'm older, I know what she meant because I feel this way about my dog. But she had said like, you know, like it's hard going shopping with Erica because I always have to like look after her, but I'm trying to shop and I can't take my eyes off of her because then she disappears. And it's like, I get it, but as a kid, I heard that and I was like, I have fun sometimes when we shopping. So
Damn, you're not having fun. I'm having fun.
yeah. So yeah, there was that. But then like, you know, my mom had her moments. Like there were times that, you know, she would take me to the park and then, well, she didn't have her moments. I had my moments, but she had her moments dealing with me. Like she would take me to the park and then I had this thing, you could not get me out the park. Like it was 8:30 p.m. The sun was still kind of out. She's like, all right, pack it up. And I'm like, no, I'm on the swing.
This sounds so you now.
Yeah. And she's like, no, like we have to go. And sometimes she would have to drag me out the park and I'm kicking and screaming all the way home. Or, you know, like this might be too much for some of you, but she's beat my ass a few times. But it was with reason. I don't think there was an ass whooping she gave me that I didn't deserve. Like
No ass whooping in your life went unjust.
Yeah. So but there was that, but then there was also just a lot of love. Like she's always been warm. She's always been somebody I can talk to. She's always been somebody I can trust. She's my mom. She's my best friend. So yeah, there's that. And then there's my dad. And my dad he's special. He is not everyone's cup of tea. He is a hard pill to swallow and he doesn't care. Like he knows these things. He's very much himself all the time. He's very take it or leave it. This is me. If you don't like it, sounds like a you problem, which also sounds very me, you know?
Yeah.
But I feel like my parents are both themselves to the extremes of what they can be of themselves. So my mom is very like, at least now, because, you know, when she was younger, she was different, but now she's very peaceful and very like empathy, understand them. My dad is very, I don't care. I never cared and I won't care. I don't plan on caring. You know, like that. That's my dad. But that's not how he feels towards me. Towards me, he adores me. I know that no man's ever going to love me more than my dad does. Like, there are certain things with my parents that I'm very secure in, and it's that they both like adore me, love me, all that stuff. Like, I'm just great to them.
Aww.
I don't want to say I'm the favorite because that's gonna
Ruffle some feathers. I know I'm my dad's favorite.
Yeah. But yeah, so there's that. My dad is someone, he's very like, you know, like, for lack of better words, like his parenting style was like, don't be a pussy. And I don't like saying that word. I know he's gonna get mad at me for using that word, but that really is the way that he parents, the way that he acts. Like he's just like, whatever you do, don't come off as weak. He's very tough, very macho man, very like, you know, I've said this in another episode, like he wears sunglasses to my graduation so we don't see him cry. Like he's very like, no, but he is sensitive and he is super soft and all the way deep, deep inside, but it's mainly for his kids. I don't think that there's anything that you can do to get my, like, okay, a lot of things get my dad upset. But if you want to get him to that point, like,
Start with his kids.
yeah. And those feuds don't last long, ever. Just saying. But, so yeah, my parents, they are polar opposites right now, but there was a point in time that they, I mean, obviously they liked each other enough. But they were very rah-rah when they were younger. Like, you know, they were a mess. They were a hot mess as a relationship. From the stories I've heard from both sides, a mess. But, you know, a beautiful mess, you know?
You know
guys-
what's funny? Like, I feel like when I see your parents, like, I could see it. Like, I could see where they, like, made sense back in the day.
Yeah.
Sometimes I look at my parents and I'm like, where were you? Like, where did you guys meet again? Like, where were you guys at the same place at the same time?
I never asked how my parents met.
Really?
Yeah. I have no idea how they met. That's weird.
That's homework for you. Like, my mom grew up a Jehovah's Witness. My dad was a DJ from the hood. Where were you when you met him?
I feel like I've seen your father on maybe 2 occasions, and on both occasions he did not fail to tell me that he knows Nas.
Oh my God.
To give you a feel for
Only-
Taylor's
yes,
dad.
that I feel like I didn't give enough detail about their personality, but that hits it
It'll
right on
come
the
out.
nail.
It'll come out
Yes.
throughout this conversation, because I was
Yeah,
like,
my mom's
there's much
baby
more
dad
to
was
them.
a DJ. I come from a long
Oh
lineage
my
of hot
God.
girls.
Whew. But yeah, so we've both got some interesting parents, and you're gonna learn about them today and our relationships with them and all that good stuff. But that's just to give you a feel for the type of people who raised us. Okay, so what do you think your parents were like at your age, and have you ever asked?
Oh, I ask all the questions. I get
Do
all
you?
the tea. Yeah, because like, I don't know. I'm just nosy. Like, I'm just so
That I know.
Well, I'm 24. So by this point, they had Vanessa, my older sister, and my dad also had my oldest sister, Kimberly, before he met my mom. So, like, I think they were living together at this point. Because by this point, Vanessa was like 6. I believe they were living together. They weren't married yet. I feel like, I don't know like the day to day, but I know that it was like, I feel like it was a weird time. Like, you know, like you have kids, you have responsibilities. I know that like there was like drama with like my oldest sister, like not like, I don't think like baby mama drama, but more of just like, okay, like how do we do the blended family thing?
Yeah,
You know,
especially
so
that
young,
young,
and
yeah.
whatever. And my mom, when she had my sister, she was shunned from her community because she was a teen mom and she also had a baby with somebody who wasn't a part of the religion and stuff. And that was something I always like asked my mom about, like, how did you overcome that? Because I feel like it was back in those days where like you're sitting in church and they call you up and they tell you like you're being exiled for like this reason. You just gotta
Yeah.
walk out.
Yeah.
And I think it was like maybe like 1 or 2 like women in the congregation who still like stayed friends with my mom and like made sure she was okay and that my sister was okay, like when she was pregnant with her and all these different things like that. And then she grew up in Bushwick, moved all the way to Queens with my dad. And I don't know, it's just like, I know it had to be intense. I feel like my mom she's a softie, but she's been through a lot.
Yeah.
And by the time she was my age, I feel like by the time they were both my age, they'd already been through a lot. My uncle had passed away. My mom was a mom and moved to a whole different neighborhood that she like wasn't used to. So she will never admit like probably how traumatic and hard
I feel that's
that
part of
was.
why she's so like it is what it is, and
Yeah.
just kind of like maybe that's the way it was supposed to be. Because we were just talking about this, and it's like
Yeah.
she's like, "Girl, it could be worse."
Literally. I
I
feel like when I'm crying and I'm like, I just don't understand why this is happening. She could be like, well, you
wanna know what happened to me?
You want to live my 20s? And I don't, again, like, my dad is like, this is where I'm like, I don't, like, my dad obviously, like, stepped up and did the things that he had to do, but I never really understand, like, I don't know, like, my dad is like a boy's boy. Like, I know that he had to, like, I've met his friends and they all work for the city and stuff like that. Like, I feel like that's like the one part of his 20s I feel like I don't really wrap my mind around. Like, how are you doing the whole, like, being a DJ, being a dad, and like, what did that juggle look like? I feel like that's the only thing, like, I've never really understood.
See, for me, I have a very different idea of what my parents were like in my age. They were both outside. That's for sure. Like, so I'm 25. So at this point, they had a 4-year-old. Like, yeah, if we're going by my mom being my age, yeah. So at that point, they had a 4-year-old. They were still a mess, still together-ish, seeing other people, you know? Like, and I'm not trying to air out, any dirty laundry. I just feel like this is just a very typical.
It's also like 2 decades old laundry.
Girl, it's still dirty. It's just like, so, like, my mom was doing her thing, my dad was doing his thing, and then they had their thing. I don't know. It was a mess. But like, to give you an idea, oh my God. So this story about my mom, she tells everybody this, so I know I got the green light to tell this on camera. It's gonna sound very me. So I think this was at the time, I think MySpace was the thing. I had to have been MySpace. I don't know if there was any other social media before that. So MySpace was a thing. She's got her MySpace page. Just keep that in mind.
Uh-huh.
So she goes out, and I could be butchering this story, but this is how I remember it. She goes out to the movies with my dad. And okay, we're on a date, blah, 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 blah. Me and my messy man, me and my messy woman, whatever. And she sees someone, like, I don't know if it was across the street or across the, like, theater lobby. And they recognize her because she's wearing the same outfit that she posted on MySpace in a picture. And I don't know if the guy got as far as to say, like, yo, and, like, call her out, but I think she disappeared. I think she left my dad at the theater and was like, you know what? No. I'm not dealing with none of this.
Your mom is like the blueprint. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Because I would have done the same thing.
She said, I don't need none of this negativity right now.
Like, and you know how easy that was? There were no phones. She just had her beeper. Like, my dad couldn't even blow up her phone. Like, yo. So that's what was going on when that had to have been before I was born. But that same kind of stuff was going on.
That same energy.
Yeah. Like, I was probably like 6 years old taking my mom's club pictures for like MySpace.
I love that.
Because I've been taking photos since I was a wee little thing. Thank you very much. Not that I should have been taking photos of her in her hoochie outfits, but
who else was gonna take? There was no tripods.
That's what I'm saying. So
there's photos of my cousins and my sister like going out to the club, and I'm like in my little like Hannah Montana PJs, like next.
You're like, so we going out?
I would go out and I'd be crying like, wait, what do you mean I'm not going?
Nah, speaking of stories, crying when your mother leaves you.
Yo.
So because I remember crying so hard. Remember when Black Friday was like still a thing?
Yes.
And it was a good like, woo, we're going out for Black Friday.
Yeah.
So I remember it had to have been like midnight or something. Me, my aunt, and my mom are up in the living room. And my mom, once again, just as spontaneous as I am, she looks at my aunt, she's like, yo, like, should we go to Black Friday tonight? Like, should we do that? And my aunt's like, I don't know. Okay, so my aunt is like 11, 12 years older than me. And the gap between my aunt and my mom is like 11 and 12 years.
Yeah.
Or 12 years. So my aunt is me and my aunt were almost raised as if like she was my older sister more than she was my
Yeah.
aunt. So I'm here thinking like, oh shit, you guys are going. I can
going?
go too. Yeah. And then they're getting ready, and I'm like, why is no one picking out my clothes? Like, what's going on? And then
Why is the bunny picking up?
so I look at my mom like, yo, so I'm not going. She's like, no, they're gonna call like child protective services on us if they see a fucking little kid on the bus at midnight with us for Black Friday shopping. And I was like, so why are you going at all? Like, what do you mean? Like, I don't want to be stuck at home with my grandma. And I was like,
Yo.
you just like initiated like a fun night and said
You've
you're
been
not a part of
asking
it.
where the fuck the function since you were like 5 years old.
And I wasn't invited. So
They went?
yeah, and they had a great time without me. Yup. But it's fine. I forgive you ish. I don't know. But yeah, and then like at that time, my dad was definitely in the streets doing what he do. He won't tell me, and I think it's best that way. All I knew is that I was more than fed. I had any toy you could think of. Anytime a Disney movie came out, he gave me every single stuffed animal you could possibly think of. He always tells me this story, so he's gonna be real happy that I bring this up on the podcast. He would tell all his boys from the block to come with him to the mall to go get toys and stuff for me. And the way he says just like the other time, he's like, and I'm telling you, we had garbage bags filled with stuff for you. Garbage bags. Like, and he would always, and then he'll do the whole thing with like holding it and shit. Like, we was walking out there and I would walk in front of him and I was like, this all for my daughter. Aww. Like, he talks like that every time, every single time. But like, that's what I mean when I say like, since I was young, like he always made it very obvious to me, like, you are my whole world. And they had other kids, but until those kids were around, I was everything. Yeah.
Period.
Thank you very much. Because I know my siblings are watching this. But yeah, and then like he went as far as I had a dog. I had a dog from the ages of 4. Okay, little story time. He got me a dog. I was living with my mom and my grandma and my aunt. My dad didn't live with me. He comes around my birthday with a puppy in his jacket, and it's like, happy birthday. I don't think he told anyone in my house that he was bringing a dog.
He was getting you a dog?
No. So my grandma's pissed. She's like, what do you mean a dog? I didn't want the dog because it barked all night. And I'm like, oh my God, make it stop. I hate it. Or whatever. And I always wanted a little white dog named like Fluffy, I think, from like the toilet paper commercials or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I see this little black and brown Yorkie. I'm like, I guess, but I don't want it. That was, no.
You got it wrong.
Yeah. And so then I think like a few days passed. I'm like, you know what? I kind of fuck with this guy. But like that dog, that was my first baby, but he hated me. We grew up as siblings too. Like that was mainly my mom's dog. Like if that was anybody's soul dog, it was my mom's soul dog.
Oh.
But yeah, he just goes, drops up a dog and like, bye. And that, like, and I was just like, I got a puppy. And everyone's like, fucking, So, I was going somewhere with that.
It made me think of my own dad.
Oh, wait. Yes, I was going somewhere.
Oh my
so
God.
then I had a dog. I had that dog up until I was 15. But there was a point, I don't know if you remember, it wasn't Littlest Pet Shop because it was, remember that like big ass like Labrador Retriever dog? It was the size of a real dog and it can give you paw and it can sit and it was named Buddy. It was a really popular toy. I want to say around 2008-ish.
I don't really remember.
I wanted it so bad, even though I had my own dog. And everyone was like, Erica, why the fuck? Like, why do we have, why? It doesn't make, you have a real one. I was like, but I want that one. And my dad came very soon after and was like, here. And then everyone looks at him like, Eric, what the fuck? And he's like, she said she wanted it, so
She got it.
And that's how my life was.
I love that.
Like, for as long as I'm living, if I want it, I got it. So how has your relationship with your parents changed specifically in your 20s? Like from 20 to right now?
Oh my God, it's changed a lot. Like I feel like a lot of things have changed. I feel like because I moved. The first time I moved, because I moved with my great aunt for a couple of months. She's 60 years older than me, so at the time she was like she was 82. I was 22. Tried to stay with her for a little bit. She didn't have kids. she doesn't really get along with women.
Long story short, it was a
Yeah,
mess.
it
She had
didn't
to
go that well.
Like-
And that changed the relationship a lot with my dad a little bit because even though she didn't have kids, um, she favored my dad like as if that was her son. And it kind of put him in a position of be like my mother figure versus my daughter. And obviously he picked his own child. Like she tried to make it seem like I would lie about like sneaking out and all these different things. And he'd be like, she's been raised. She's 22. If she's going out, she's going out. And 9 times out of 10, she's going to work. Like she doesn't have to report to you every time she goes somewhere or whatever. And it just like, it was a lot of drama and whatever. Their relationship isn't really the same anymore. And it took us a while to kind of get back to that. And then on top of that, I think also being in like a long-term serious relationship that he didn't necessarily agree with. And then moving out, all that kind of stuff. I feel like he had to learn to like trust my decisions and intuition and stuff like that. And understanding that like, just because he doesn't agree with a decision I'm making doesn't mean that it's like, it's not his life lesson and stuff. Like no matter what he's lived through, I have to make my own decisions and that's that. And it's kind of learning to also just like respect the decisions I make. Like, and that eventually, if I know I'm making the right decision for myself, like he'll see it. Like I've learned that he's not the parent I can tell things to like, oh,
Half-baked.
Yeah. He has to kind of find things out literally like the next day. Like he found out I was moving, like I think like a week before.
Yeah.
Because like
he starts thinking too hard.
he starts thinking too hard and like he'll put a lot of fear into things. And that's not that he doesn't support me or doesn't believe in me, but it's just like I do things a lot different than him. I think one thing I've noticed, my dad, me and him move at two completely different paces. Like what I can do in a month will take him 6 months to do. And we always go back and forth about I move too fast and all these different things like that. And I think it's, again, it also just like different times.
Yeah.
With my mom, I feel like we've always been close. Like we've always been super, super close. I think that the closeness that we have now is like, I was actually just saying this yesterday to somebody that like by the time my mom was my age, like she was basically married. She had a kid. She was with my dad. They were living together. They were doing the thing or whatever. And it's like now I'm single. I live on my own in the city. And she always said that one of the things she wished that she would have did was like live on her own, like with Vanessa, obviously, but like without my dad.
Yeah.
And like just kind of get into her groove and then let him come and be like, this is the household. This is how we are. Like operate with it and kind of like that matriarchal kind of thing and whatever. And I feel like right now she like low key vicariously lives through like all the things like me going out or just me dating and stuff like that. But then like, I feel like the most important part of that is like this was the thing I knew was going to get me emotional. Like it hit me literally the other day. Like my mom literally gives me the clothes off her back. I walked out of the house the other day. I had her shoes on. Because I went downstairs to go grab food. I came back up and then I walked home because now I live like 5 blocks away from my parents, which is amazing. I haven't brought toilet paper in a while because I just go and grab hers. I called her. I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I had your shoes on, whatever. She's like, just keep them. Like, she's the one person that I think like I never have to say how good or bad I'm doing. She's still going to just make sure I'm good.
Yeah.
And like that part has been so important. I feel like being 20 is hard. Living on your own is hard.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like I have to do the whole like, head, like, what is it called? My tail between my legs, whatever.
I think, yeah.
Like, I just like, I don't have to be shamed by my parents to hear how hard life is and get a little bit of help. And like, that's literally how my mom has been literally since I moved out. Like, she's never made me feel like if I need, groceries or even just like, God forbid, if I ever needed to go back home, like she wouldn't make me feel like shit about it.
Yeah. I feel like I have a very similar experience in that like my dad can be judgy about the way I do life and I kind of got to tell him things when I'm ready and he doesn't like that. And I'm just like, dude, if I told you sooner, you would have like put fear in me to be like, I don't want to do this. And I'm like, listen, I'll let you know things once they're completed and done. And, that's just the way it is. And that took a lot for me to do because I kind of grew up like scared of his opinion all the time. Yeah. Because I was always just kind of like, oh, what's daddy going to think? I remember one time I had a Halloween costume that showed my shoulders a little bit too much. And my mom knew about the costume, and my dad didn't know about the costume. And my mom was like, that maybe he would think that it's a little bit too much. Even looking back, it was not too much. The costume was fine. But I had a whole like panic attack in his car because he had said something about a Halloween costume, and I kind of started like freaking out. And he was just like, what's going on? I'm just like, I have a Halloween costume and it might be too much for you or whatever. However, which way I could have articulated it at like fucking 8 years old. And like ever since then, I've just had like this weird like thing of like, I can't tell him things when they're in the works. I had to tell him things when they're done, or at least not even when they're done, when there's a positive outcome of it. Because it's like, I could tell him, oh, like I'm doing this and I did it and these are the results. And he'll be like, oh shit, that's good. Yeah. But if I told him the same exact thing that was happening as it was happening, but what if this and what if that? Do you think you can handle that? I'm just like, I don't need you to make me feel like I can't do something. Yeah. And it's not because he doesn't believe in me. He believes I could do literally anything. It's just he wants me to be over aware of all like the cons. And I'm like, I don't think that me being aware of all those things would have allowed me to get as far as I have. Because if I lived in fear of, X, Y, Z, I don't think I could have done it. So that's that with him. And then with my mom, same deal. That like, I know I'm always going to be good because of her. Like she'll come to my house with her car and she'll drop off like 50 toilet paper rolls and be like, you'll be good for a minute. And I'm like, thanks. Or she'll drop or like she follows this page that has like a whole bunch of like deals on detergent and on dishwashing soap and stuff, and she'll be like, hey, I got 3 gallons of Dawn. And like she's like my house supply dealer, except I don't have to pay her. And she'll drop off like 4 gallons of Gain detergent. I'm just like, cool. So like
Can she send me the page?
Oh yeah, it's like savings by like, I don't know. I'm gonna go on a whim and say Jessica, but I'll figure it out. I'll put it in the description. But it's good. It'll be like
20-year-olds.
No, because it'll say like, this is on a deal for the next hour. Use this code, and sometimes it's closed. Like it's a whole bunch of stuff. So like it is really good. But yeah, and I feel like overall, both my parents too, like they have shown that they as much as I've said about my dad just now, like about like putting all this fear and stuff in my brain. Like they've both shown that they trust me enough to like handle life. Yeah. Like, but that's grown throughout my 20s. Like, I feel like at 20, they were like, I don't know, man. And then I finally moved out and like, I think never having to ask them for help with real stuff. Like, yeah, I've told them when they're like, oh, what do you want for Christmas? I'm like, you know what? I wouldn't even be mad if you paid my rent, Like, and my dad did one time and I'm like, cool. But I have never been in a rut where I have to be like, hey, can you help me with this bill? And I think that as time passes and they see that, they're like, okay, she gotta be doing something right. Like, I don't agree with the girl, but she got it together. So that's cool. So I feel like that's how, as I get older, they're like dealing with me getting older. Cause I know that as much as them getting older bothers me,
it bothers them just as much.
Me getting older, they're like, oh, but I'm like, I still need you both. Just in different ways. Yeah. Cause you guys are both acquired tastes.
Do you ever feel that anxiety that like their anxiety about you getting older, like almost like their like subconscious like checklist that they have of like, okay, like she graduated, she got the apartment, like.
I think I'm good. Like for their checklist, the checklist is already done. Yeah, they both want me to have kids and stuff, but I know I'm like, nah, nothing to do with you guys. I got everything to do with me. Like I don't care if I check it off or not. Yeah. But in terms of just like, just all the main stuff, like when you're in college, you're like, oh my God, what am I going to do next? Like get the real job and do all these things. Like, I feel like I've already checked everything off, for their standards, or like in terms of like what they go and tell their friends. I got so many things for them to talk about. Like I think I'm good for as long as I have things going on in my life for my parents to brag about. I think like if there's nothing going on, like my mom tells her friends like, oh, my daughter goes to the gym. My dad meets like gym rats and stuff. And he's like, oh, you go to the gym? My daughter goes to the gym. Aww. And she doesn't take steroids. And when I graduated college, they're like, yeah, and she got a full scholarship, blah, blah, blah. Like there's always something. Like I'm not an underachiever, and I'm not even just a plain old achiever. I'm an overachiever to the fullest extent because they've given me every reason to be and all the resources to be. So, aww. Yeah. Okay. So do you see parts of your parents in yourself that you didn't see before?
Yeah.
And are you okay with that?
Thanks, Dad.
Damn. What you mean?
Oh my God. I have to send you the photo of my dad with the picture of his retirement day on a pillow that he keeps in the living room. Is that not me?
You know what? This is kind of crazy because, like, you say things about your dad. My dad went through this phase. He found this pillow company that turns any picture into a pillow. He gave me a pillow with my whole body on it, like a picture of me from when I was like 18. And then like everybody in the house had their own pillows of different sorts with different like things on it. And like he just goes through like these phases and hyperfixations, and I'm just like, okay,
They would get along so well.
I think they might. And I say this about anyone who is too much like my dad. They would either love each other or hate each other. Yeah, because it's like,
I think if we gave them 15 minutes, best of friends. Like 2 weeks, they might hate each other.
No, I think they might. I think our dads might have like a what's it called when you one up someone? You know, like a one up.
A pissing contest?
Yes, because I feel like your dad would be like, I know Nas, and then my dad would be like, well, I was partying with Pauly D. Like, yo, my dad sent me a picture of him, and I don't know if you know Lunay. He's like this Spanish singer or whatever. But the guy was taking the photo with my dad. It wasn't my dad taking a picture with him. And my dad just sends it to me casually like, oh, you know, I'm just out. And I was like, excuse me? Like,
your dad's like
with
that
him? Like, I was like, what do you mean? He sends me a picture with El Alfa. I don't know if you know who that is. I mean, do you like Dominican music?
Yeah, but I don't know.
Damn it. But whatever. No, it's fine. You good. Like, he sent me a picture with Lil Pump one time. Like, he just be outside and running into these people, and he's like, yeah, I'm kind of the shit.
No,
so
this
I feel
would
like
be a pissing contest because my dad has
Yeah.
a binder from like working in the city. All of the celebrities he's taking photos with.
My dad
Joan
also
Rivers,
city worker, by the way.
Literally, I think we're gonna have to do this. We're gonna have to get them to meet each other.
So do you think your parents know how much they've shaped who you are?
Damn, that's a
Like,
good
yeah,
question.
they have, but do you think that they know?
Well, again, my dad's a little narcissistic. I think he thinks he shaped me a lot. A lot more than he has. I don't know, because it's like they have, but like I really don't know how to answer that one.
Okay, well, first off, do you think that they have like a lot? Like, do you think that they've shaped like a majority of who you are?
I didn't think this question was gonna hit me so hard. They have shaped me a lot. I think that my dad shapes a lot of my humor.
Mm-hmm.
The way that I am with my one-liners and just being very like off the walls.
Yeah.
My mom has definitely shaped a lot of my empathy and my compassion and just being like willing to like hear people out and to try the caring way first before I try it my dad's way.
Yeah.
And then I don't know how much of that they really see like in me. I don't know.
Oh.
I hope that they see it because I feel like they see a lot of like, I honestly don't even know. I wish I knew.
Yeah.
I need to ask them, how do they see me?
Yeah, because I feel like for me, it's iffy. It's really iffy. Because I feel like when I talk to them or like, okay, so like when my dad watches my podcast, he always says like, you know, he sees so much of himself in the way that I'm speaking or that he knows what I'm going to say before I say it. And then like my mom, like sometimes she says like it's scary, like situations I've been in where she's like, I've been in the exact same one, but I'm not going to tell you because I don't want you to feel like I'm like invalidating your experience and saying that mine is more important or anything. But like, I kind of wish that she did because it's like, I like knowing how similar I am to the people who made me. But at the same time, both my parents, they do this all the time. They always say like, oh, like I know with your friends that you're probably like, ugh, my mom or ugh, my dad or whatever. Like, you know, they think that I talk about them in such a negative light or like as if I don't know, like 13. It's like, my mom didn't let me go to the movies. Like, I feel like they think that I walk around with that
I
kind
don't
of...
think I've ever heard you like negatively speak about your parents.
I know, because I don't.
I can vouch. She does not.
See, but they would both be like, look at Taylor lying for this girl. Like, you know, like that's just how they are. But I feel like with time, like my mom has been able to see it more, but my dad, it's still really hard for him to like feel like I speak about him in a positive light and all that. But I'm like, dude, like, trust me. Like, I full on understand how present my parents are in comparison to a lot of other people's parents and people's, even with the relationship me and my dad had, people were like, I wish I was that close with my dad. I'm just like, dude, like, you don't get it. Like, I adore you guys, but I feel like they don't see that, like, ever. My mom, I feel like she saw it when I wrote like a birthday post for her some years back, and it was like super long, and all her friends were like, instead of telling her happy birthday, they were like, "Oh my god, I love what your daughter wrote." My mom was like, "Where the fuck is my shine?" You know. But I don't know. I don't think they know because I've told them like how much they've shaped me. I think that they see it when they want to see it.
Yeah.
I think that when, because that's another thing too. When I'm at my best,
They see
they're
it.
both jacking it. They're like, that was me. That's my girl. But when like, you know what? I'm lying actually, because there was a time when I was not the best person and a whole bunch of stuff was going on, and they were both like, yeah, I was that too. So like they were very understanding, and they very much saw, you know, themselves in me. So I don't know, it's iffy. Maybe they're just lying, because I'm like, they see me in them all the time. And then when one sees something bad in me, like let's say my mom sees something negative in me, she's like, oh, that's your father. You know, and then vice versa. Whenever like
My
I
parents
get a
do
little
that
too
too.
annoying, my dad's like, that's some shit your mother would say. And I'm like, guys, chill. Like it's me. It's me. Like, go on. So,
Have you ever seen that post? It's like, I'm not my mom and I'm not my dad. I'm something worse. I'm their daughter.
oh my God. No, but yeah, I don't know. They're so iffy with that stuff, because they both. Well, I don't know. They go about things very different. Like my mom, like I said, she's the type that if I'm like her, she doesn't like pointing it out too much. And then my dad is the type that he points it out way too much. Then like he always, anytime someone says like, oh, like your daughter looks so much like you, he'd be like, yep, straight out of my balls. I'm like, bro, like, like we didn't have to say all that. Like we didn't. Or he'll be like, I was putting in extra work, you know? And I'm like,
Oh my
I'm telling, these
God.
are my parents, bro. Like this is me. That's who I am.
I actually think I would scream at my dad if he said that.
Oh no. Like instead, like I make a face like, and because it's not an embarrassment face anymore. When I was younger, yeah, it was an embarrassment. But now it's just like, Daddy, please. And then he's always like, just like that, like, yeah, I'm a funny guy. Like, he loves being the funny guy. He loves being that guy. Like, he like, and by that guy, it could be so many things. It could be the funniest guy. It could be the most disliked guy, the most hated guy, the most loved guy. For as long as
But it's
he's
him.
that guy. Yeah. Like, so do you ever feel bad for living your own life as they get older?
No. But like it'll happen in like the weirdest ways. It happens more now that I live close by. Like I told you the other day, like I just happened to be just like walking, and I ended up walking really close to my parents' house, and my anxiety cannot let me just like go past my parents' house without going inside and saying hi to them, because I'm always like, oh my god, what if I don't say hi to them, and then like like I don't know,
Yeah.
like it freaks me out so bad. So in those moments where I was like, maybe like today, like I took the bus and the bus passed their house, like that's when I feel bad, because I'm like, oh,
Like they're in there living.
I
Like,
wish, yeah, I wish I would have budgeted an extra like 30 minutes to even just swing by and say hi or something like that. Or like when I was with my ex and we would want food in Queens, and we would go to Queens to get the food, and we wouldn't stop by and like say
Aw.
hi and stuff like that. Like it used to make me feel so bad. And,
Yeah.
like those are the times when I feel bad. I think that like not feeling like really bad, I feel like that kind of stems from like them having me a little later in life and having me in their 30s and stuff, because I know that they lived their life
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And I know that like they're not fully empty nesters yet, because my brother still lives there, but I know that like they do enjoy their time.
Yeah.
Like now that my dad's retired, and my mom, she'll just be like, yeah, like I'm going with your dad, like to this place or that place or whatever. So I don't feel like they're like sitting at home like waiting for me or waiting for the company or whatever. So yeah.
For me, I feel like both of my parents are very like independent, but My parents both have very different ways of saying and showing that they want me around, and one works more than the other. Like my mom, when she wants to see me, she just be like, "Can you please like come by for a weekend? Like I haven't seen you."
Aw.
And like, she'll just flat out say like, "I miss you." And I'll be like, "Okay, like let me find a weekend." And even though the weekend may be like 5 weekends ahead, like
It's
I'm still
booked.
setting aside that weekend or whatever. And when I come, like she's super grateful, and she's always just like, "I know you have a lot going on. Like I think, like thank you for coming by or whatever." Because like my mom, I can only see her in like blocks of time because like her work schedule, my life is just it's all a mess. And then there's my dad's approach.
An argument.
So you don't care about your father anymore? Like, so what the
My
fuck
dad
am I?
was the same.
Like he's like, it's been, and he'll count all the days and be like, since I last saw you, guess you're fatherless, right? Because you don't care about me. You don't care about your siblings. You don't care how they're doing in school. I could have been dead. Or like, oh my gosh, there was this one time he had to go in for like a surgery, and it was like super like last minute and stuff. And when he had called early in the morning, and I had work, and like because I work in the news, like it was something really pressing and I really couldn't answer. Like there was no, it wasn't even on some like I'm in a call and I can mute myself and I could like I really couldn't answer. And then I get like this voicemail, and he's telling me like I'm about to go into surgery, like, give me the details and stuff, and he's kind of like uneasy and all that. But then it's like, if only you would have picked up. I'm like, why
Oh
did you
my
have to put that in there?
God.
Like, dude, like I love you and I care about you. And it's like, if it was up to me, I would have picked up. But like, dude, come on.
That would
So
have sent me into a spiral.
yeah, so like I'm like freaking out all day. And then I'm getting updates or whatever from my stepmom, and I'm just like, okay. And then it's the thing of like, oh, so you didn't call to see how I've been, even though my stepmom's been updating me. I'm just like, I don't think that when you're sick or when you got whatever you got going on that you want to be yapping on the phone. But my dad's different. He might want to be because he just likes to talk. But it's just like, like I'm here doing my best, and his way to get me to see him is by guilting me. And I'm like, I really don't like that, because now I'm seeing you with the pretense of just like anxiety. And now when I see you, I feel like you're gonna be judging me the whole time, like if I don't have enough energy. And it's like, wow, so now you're seeing us, but you're not really up for it. I feel I have to mentally prep so much more to see him, because I have that like, like he's like watching me to be like, oh, make sure it's worth our while, almost kind of thing.
Okay.
And that makes it really hard, and it makes it really stressful to, want to see him and stuff. And it's not to want to see him. It's just to go through all the mental parts that come with it that he doesn't get, because those like emotions I just brought up, I feel like are way too Gen Z for him. For him, it's like, well, I'm your dad. You see your dad. That's it. Like, and I'm just like, Daddy, like, it's so much more than that. Like, I'm tired. And then if I say I'm tired, he's like, so what's going on at home? Like, what got you tired? Like, is it a boy? Don't, because I could fix it real quick. And I'm like, no, like, my capacity for life is just not, I don't have any bandwidth right now. And for him, he's like, well, you should always have bandwidth for your father. Like, it just always goes back to that. And I'm just like, okay, Daddy, I'll talk to you later. So that's two very different approaches. So no matter what, I always feel guilty for going on with life, because my mom misses me and my dad has a very special way of saying he misses me. But I'm trying to get to a point in my life where like, and it sucks, because like you're racing against time, because I'm trying to work and all this stuff so that I can have a life where I could freely see both of them whenever I want. But it's like, what if by the time I get there, I can't? And that's the part where like it fucks with me. So yeah, that's not like,
That just made me really sad.
yeah. So that leads us to our next question. Do you think that they know how much they mean to you?
I think they do. I hope they do.
You should ask them, like, how much do you think you mean to me? And I can see
No, because
that
my dad's
you
gonna
don't
piss
give
me
a
the fuck
shit.
off. Like, well, I don't know, because when I try to tell you things, you don't want to listen to me. I know
So
some
my
things.
opinion, 0. Like,
I'm a little older than you. We get it, Dad. You're 60-something. You're
You've
retired.
lived.
You've lived your life. I get it.
Damn.
Food don't cost the same when you were my age. Rent don't cost the same. I can't do everything the way you did it. I don't work for the city. I don't have those solutions. But
For the benefits.
I'm about to lose them. I'm about to freak out. Like that's a whole other crash out. I can't. This isn't a crash out episode.
Ooh, not this time. It's a crash out of the heart.
I always try to thank them and just like explain to them the impact of things a lot. One thing that I always tell my dad all the time, I tell them this at least once a year. There was one like school, like winter break, spring break, or whatever, where my parents, instead of putting me and my brother in like one of those like after school programs, like those little summer camp, like those little midwinter camps, my dad just took off and watched me and my brother the whole week. And I literally remember that week day by day. One day we went to the Intrepid. The other day we went to the train museum. The other day we went to the movies. I do not remember the 2 other days right now.
All dads are the same, bro.
Literally. Men share one playbook. One person took the test and then everybody was like, they switched up the answers a little bit.
They all think the same shit about kids. They're like, kids love museums. Kids love movies.
Trains. They like the boat. They like the movie.
I like trains. Like, you know, like.
But I still talk about that week like as a 24-year-old. And that was when I was like in elementary school.
Yeah.
And there was also, this happened a long time ago. This happened more when I was in like high school. Like my dad, so me and my brother, we used to share a room. We had a 2-bedroom. So it was like me and my brother, whatever. And he had like a lot of guilt that like me and my brother just didn't have like our own spaces or whatever. And that also played a part in me moving out or whatever, just because like New York apartments are like not built for families. I mean, some people, they make it work. And my family just couldn't make it work. And it's not something that I hold against them or whatever. And I've like always like tried to like explain to my dad and both of my parents really that like I grew up and I felt love. I still feel their love. I still feel their support. Like I didn't have like selfish parents who were like, well, you just have to figure it out. Like they did the best they could with the materials that they had. I've always felt like my parents made like their roof my floor. And it's just like I've worked my way up from there. And I've always tried to make sure that like they understand that. Like when I graduated, I did the whole like my dad wore the cap and my mom wore the gown because they didn't go to college or whatever. So I was like, we did it, guys. Like we all worked really hard for this and stuff like that. So day to day, I don't know. I know I'm a pain in the ass, so they might be like this fucking bitch. But I do try to make sure like they understand that like I'm grateful for like literally everything, you know?
And I think a big part of it is like the memories you brought up because I feel like they don't know which memories stick for us.
Yeah.
Because like even thinking about it now, like there are like trends going around where it's like, oh, take your 1-year-old to Disney because even though they won't remember it, you'll remember them being that small and being there and stuff. So I feel like our parents have this thing where like, they probably don't remember their childhood up until, you know, the age of like 5, 4, whatever. And for me, I'm just like, dude, I remember a lot. Like, I don't think my parents know how much I remember. Like, there was like one Easter we spent in Central Park and my dad with my bike with training wheels, my Little Pony bike, I think, with training was down a hill with bunny ears on. And the kids are like, oh my God, look, that's a dad on a bike. Or that's an old man on a bike. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, he was like, you know, probably late 20s, early 30s. But to them, old man, was a little kid. And you know, I remember stuff like that. I remember, like, I was sad when the Whitestone movie theater closed because me and my dad, every single, I think, Saturday or Friday, every weekend or every other weekend, we would go to Toys R Us, to give me whatever I wanted, and then we go to the movies right around the corner. And that was, like, our thing. And now they're both gone. I'm like, that was literally, like, me and my dad's thing for, like, my whole childhood. And then sometimes we would go to the pizzeria across the... I don't know if it was a highway or what, or whatever. It was like a Mores or something. That was like our thing. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't think he knows that I hold those memories in like little capsules where I'm like, that's me and my dad. When I think me and my dad, I think about movies, think about pizza. I think about just like snacks. Because like every time I was sick, my mom hated this, but every single time I was sick, he would come through with like 3 Snickers ice creams, M&M's with peanuts, the cheese balls, like the big ones from BJ's or whatever. And my dad would be like, what the fuck? And he'd be like, you said she wasn't eating, but she'll eat this. And he wasn't wrong. So honestly, like, you know, them not knowing how much they mean to me, I think this episode here and even me bringing that up, I think this will be my little thing to them. Like, I remember a lot, like
Oh.
a lot. And as for my mom, I'm trying to think, like, when I was younger, I don't think I have like specific memories of her because I felt like anything she did with me, it was like for me to learn on my own. It was like you took me to a museum, but you watched me from far as I like played with like little things and stuff, you know. But I remember going. I remember all the times I went on the train with her, and you know, or going to Coney Island and knowing that like, yo, when I got older, I didn't realize the trip to Coney Island is not that long on the train. When I was a kid, I thought that
That
shit
felt like
was
a journey.
I thought it was like 3 hours. So I always remember like laying on my mom's lap. Or one thing I remember a lot is taking taxis because Uber wasn't a thing. And the place that we got our taxis from in Brooklyn wouldn't go as far as the city, or at least wherever she was. I remember I would go with her to work and then we would take our taxi. And I always remember her like giving directions in Spanish. And I don't know, it was like those are like weird little things where like you remember them very blurry, but like they're very much
They're there
in your head. So I remember that. And then something I always remember, she used to bundle me up like crazy in elementary school. Like I was stiff. Like my arms were out. I had a scarf on, a hat, sometimes two hats. If I had like a little one, then one that was like had a character on it that I really wanted to wear. I never wanted to wear hats anyways, but that's how you would get me to wear one. And then I would have like my spider jacket, but underneath I'd probably have two sweaters. Like that's how I went to school. And then it was like, I know that this is a trend, like not a trend, but a meme now, like the Cookie Monster pajama pants, because that's what she would wear taking me to school. So my mom was a Cookie Monster pajama pants girl. And I also remember that when I would get to the school, she would take off my hat and then she would say trick or treat, and I put my gloves in there and my scarf in there so that I would have it. Yeah, and then she'll be like, who loves you? And then I say you. And then she says, who loves you more than me? And I say no one. And then I think there was a third question. We still do it now, but I don't know if unless it was just those two questions. And that was our thing. And that's always been our thing. And that's still our thing. So I feel like the reason I don't remember too much when I was younger is because I think we still do the same things now. So it's not something you remember. It's just something that lasted. So do you ever mourn your parents while they're still alive?
Sometimes I feel like, you know, when somebody like close in your circle or like one of your parents' friends passes away or something like that, like I'm like, oh my God, like as a concept, it's not that far.
Yeah.
Like, or just like, I feel like death as a concept always seems so far until it touches somebody that you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then you realize like even age doesn't fully matter. But when you throw that into the equation, like,
it's like, oh, that wasn't a factor before and now it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I hate to like compare it to like my dog, but you know how people mourn their dogs and they like kind of hold them tighter because they're like, oh my God, like you don't have many years like at all, like in your whole existence. Like I know that there is an end and I kind of know exactly when that is.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's how I feel when I think about like my parents. Like when I go through old pictures and I see like
how young they look.
Yeah. And then like seeing how they've changed, like, so I go to Disney World with my dad every year. And so I have a bunch of like Splash Mountain pictures and like roller coaster pictures with him. And it's so weird to me because there are some pictures from like when I was like 10. And to me, like, I know my dad. I see my dad all the time. I see him in pictures. I see him in person, whatever. And to me, he doesn't really change much. Like, you know, because I see him as often as I do. And then I look back at the pictures and I'm just like, you look different back then. Like you don't realize how much they've changed because we don't see our own lives as like this grand timeline. Like we don't think that we've lived for years and years and years, but we're like, in our, you know, lifetime, you've aged this much. How did that happen? That's not supposed to happen. That's a little bit of time. How'd you age that fast in that time? And it's almost like, you know, the innocent version of you that comes out where you're like, no, don't do that. Like, what's going on? Like, your hairs weren't that white. They weren't white at all. Like, what's going on? And then, like, as I get older, like, you know, there are some rides that he skips at Disney. And I'm just like, you used to do those all the time. Like, why can't you do those anymore? And that would mess me up. Like, I don't think I was gonna cry this soon. Like, no, I'm ugly.
Stop.
No, because I said it before. There's two types of crying. There's the crying that's like, oh, it's kind of giving me blush, you know, and then there's the crying that's like, and that's this one.
No, but I feel you though.
But it doesn't help when like, and I don't mean to call out my dad, but I am. when they don't care about their health as much as they should. Like my mom, like, she's on top of her stuff. So I don't get these feelings as strongly for her. I'm just kind of like, She always talks about she's gonna be like 90 years old with a pixie cut with purple hair. And that's what like she's ready to be fucking speed walking up a mountain at that age. My dad, though, like, it's just different, very different. Took a minute for him to like slow down with certain habits and stuff because he is on some like I'm young, wild, and free my whole fucking life, which is like, what's been the most unexpected part of watching your parents age?
Oh my God. Damn, like it's really more so with my mom. Like it kind of relates back to what you said. Like it's like I don't think I mentally prepared myself to watch my parents slow down. Especially with my sister being older than me. Like I watched them with my niece and nephew. Like they kept up with them when they were like really small. And that like now they're like 11 and 10. So keeping up with like an 11 and 10-year-old isn't that hard compared to like
Yeah.
a 2 and 3-year-old
toddler.
and stuff. And arthritis is just like grabbing my mom. Like it's in her hands, it's in her knees, it's in her feet. And like that part, I don't think I like, I don't know, like I just imagine me like hot girl walking with my mom everywhere. And like some days, like she's just like not up for it or whatever. And I'm like, oh, okay. Honestly, that's, I think when I'm doing really active things is when it kind of hits me with my parents and being like, I did city streets the other day and I was like, damn, like my dad taught me how to ride a bike. Like we could ride this whole shit together.
Yeah.
And I'm like, could my dad really ride from Dykeman to Brooklyn Bridge?
Yeah.
Would he want to? Like, that's when I feel like it kind of like hits me or whatever. Or like my mom had like the gastric bypass surgery a couple years ago. So like my mom's been plus size my whole life. So her hands were obviously just like a little bit more fuller. And twice she's did this since she's gotten her surgery. She's like held my hands. She's wanted me to like slow dance with her in like the living room or whatever. And her hands feel so skinny. And it bothers me so much. And it's not because she's old, but like I'm not used to. Those are not the hands that like I remember my mom having my whole life. And it just makes me feel like I'm holding like old lady hands.
Yeah.
And I like she could like I know she could see the discomfort in my face like when we do that because it's like yes I want to dance with you mom but like where's the rest of you? Don't let your moms go on exempt.
Bro.
Hold the hand you remember. You know I get really I get dark when I'm uncomfortable.
I could tell.
I'm sorry guys. I'm sorry.
I feel like that's something that is a big part of thinking about your parents going because you spend the most time with them when you're young. So the version of them that you remember is the youngest, the youngest version of their parenthood, the youngest section of their parenthood that they've ever had because, that's self-explanatory. But so the memory of them is very, very much like who we are now. I mean, like your parents had you older, but for me, like how old was I? I was 4 when my mom was my age. And I remember her with lip liner and, sometimes her little smoky eye. I remember her being obsessed with MAC makeup, her being obsessed with like Coach bags and her, blow drying her hair and just like things like little like silly young things or whatever. And that's what I remember. And that stuff changes. And like, then there's like the little ways where, she does all this skincare now. And she got into like the toning trend where like you take like a bunch of toners and it's like really good for your skin and they're all for different purposes. That's her thing. Like her skincare routine looks different. The way she takes off her makeup is different. How much makeup she wears is different. But like, I full on remember going through, I think it's called a caboodle. Because I remember this was her fucking, she was like, I need a caboodle. And I was like, what the fuck is a caboodle? I was a kid. And she comes home. Yo, she had 2. She had one for makeup and then she had one for jewelry. And it had like, very 2003 jewelry in there, like chunky turquoise circle earrings or like really like flashy, Oh my gosh, they would almost look like metallic, like sliver type of earrings. Like she had the statement necklaces that like you really shouldn't ever wear. Like she had so much, and then like she had all these dresses, and like she always had a dress for any occasion. She was always ready to be outside, and I inherited half those dresses because she's like, yo, this isn't even me anymore. But like, like those are like little things. Like you remember a version of your mom, and you remember a version of your dad. My dad, nothing's changed. His outfit's still the same. Army fatigues, Jordans, polo shirt, Yankee hat. Like that will never change. He's a man of habit. But like there are certain things that change. Like I took him to my gym, and there are certain things like with his mobility and stuff that he didn't even realize. But when I showed him like you're supposed to do this like this, he's like, my leg don't move like that, and I'm like, Daddy, like what do you mean it don't move like that? So it's little stuff like that where it's just like I don't remember you being this like immobile, or I don't remember you caring less or caring more about certain things. It's like wait, what do you mean? So I don't know. I think that's one of the parts that suck because you remember them most from the version that raised kid you and not adult you.
Yeah.
But all right, I'm getting sad again. Uh, so what's something you're scared of forgetting about them?
My God. A lot. Probably my mom's cooking. I feel like my family hasn't had like my immediate family, at least we haven't had like a massive like life altering passing since my grandma on my mom's side. And I was like 13 when she passed away. So I still have like some of her clothes like in bags that like I'll open like once a year or whatever, and I'll smell it. It smells just like her house.
Yeah.
Like I don't think I'll forget how the house looks, the colors, the textures, all those different things. Cause I feel like I still have a really strong grasp of that from my grandma's house. Never had cooking like hers ever again. And that part like really sucks. I'd say their voice, which I'm not as concerned about because obviously like everything is on like digital and stuff like that now. But like just like hearing it. Like
Yeah, I was gonna say because for me it was their voices, but it's more so like hearing them in real time talking about real things, or
Yeah.
like say it's like not to bring up Tupac, but like
no, go ahead.
but like when the hologram came out, and he was saying things that were like he didn't know what Coachella was or whatever. Like he would say a lot of things that people were like, those are new words. You didn't pull that from old videos. Like what's going on? Like I feel like as time passes, there's gonna be the world's gonna keep spinning after they pass, and it's like there are gonna be things that you want to ask them advice on, and there are gonna be things that you want to talk to them about, and it's like you will never hear their opinions on certain things. You may know, you can assume what they may be, but it's just like it's literally their presence. Because like for me, like here I go again. I don't know how you not bawling yet. I'm
you know
dying.
why?
I'm suffering. You see how open my eyes are?
I deflect things so hard.
Well, inflect.
You know what I'm thinking about right now? I'm thinking
reflect. That's the word.
I'm thinking about the Teletubbies right now. And that's what's
Girl, stop. I'm trying to get it together. It's not working.
It's okay.
Bitch, it's not okay. This is a podcast. If I'm going in the mic, I can't speak. So I was gonna say, is that me and my mom talk on the phone all the time. I gotta say this piece by piece.
I feel like I know where you're getting at. That would make me cry too when I think about that.
Yeah. Maybe if I whisper, it won't do the thing. I lied.
You want me to say it?
No, this is my story.
Oh my God.
Say something. Say this. All right, wait, I laughed. Okay, I could do it. So, we talk on the phone all the time. Here we go. I'm trying. And then I'm thinking about, I got this one word at a time, maybe one syllable.
It's okay.
Fuck, it's not. Bitch, you're not crying with me, so it's not okay.
I'm sorry.
I need a companion.
I should be like that guy on Love Is Blind and just put some teardrops.
I'm trying to speak.
Maybe I shouldn't look at you.
No, it don't matter. This is all in my heart. So I'm thinking about a time where like I'd want to call.
See,
And I can't.
the reason I'm not crying is because I literally don't think about that. Like I as soon as that thought hits my brain.
Because you're stupid. You should think about it because it sucks.
Because now I'm laughing because like, God forbid.
Taylor, cry.
The back of my mind, all I'm gonna hear, I'm gonna want to call my mom, I'm gonna be crying, and I'm gonna be thinking, Erica be like, you stupid.
Good.
I'm gonna call you.
And I'm going to tell you you're dumb because you should have started missing it sooner.
God.
Because part of it too, because like I've thought about it a lot because my mom talks to me about like my godmother. I mean, they were really close. And when my godmother passed away, it's another touchy one. I forgot some people are touchy. Listen to my bracelet jingle as I try to fit myself. When she passed away, my mom would keep calling so she could listen to the voicemail. Oh my God.
My mom does that with my grandma.
But then somebody got the number. Yeah. I hate myself. If you listen to the audio version of this, you should watch the video because I look ridiculous. But yeah, so I think about that because so much of me and my mom's relationship is on the phone. So there's that. And then the same goes for my dad because there's a lot of stuff that he does that pisses me off, like you guys can probably tell. But like, you know, those are going to be the things that stand out. I hate this. I'm going to need you to cry.
I'm so sorry.
This is foolish. And I knew it was going to cry, but shit. Alone?
No, because like, you know I'm not a crier. Like for me to cry,
You know me as not being the crier.
You're not.
When have you ever seen me cry?
Today.
Besides like on my Instagram stories, but I'm talking about like a video
Yeah,
I
matter
saw.
of fact, yo, you do be crying.
Taylor, shut the fuck up.
And let me.
Like I'm pre-grieving. So
Do I send you flowers tomorrow? Like
I like flowers.
I got you.
She ain't gonna send me flowers.
Now I have to. Now I have to.
But yeah, so back to what I was saying about my dad, like the voicemails that he sends and stuff, where it's just like, hey, like I have a lot, but I don't have them anymore. But like from when I was a kid, I'm telling you, this shit dates back to like second grade. He'd be like, hey, it's your father again, in case you forgot. I'm your dad. Your only dad. You only get one. Like that, and he'll have the pauses and everything. He'll be like, all right, I love you. Call me. Bye. And like, shit like that pisses me off now because all the stuff I mentioned where I'm like, dude, like, I don't want to have to go through all this emotional in my head every time I think about like not talking to you. But, you know, I'm probably going to want to hear him be a pain or whatever once he's gone. So, yeah, I'm going to miss you guys' voices. I hope I go full schizo and just hear them all the time.
That's also why I'm not too sad. I know I will.
All right.
I know, bro. Like,
I know.
all right, fine. See, when I say it, it's a problem.
You're not crying though. If you said, I know I'm here, I'd be like, oh, you know what? That's how she feel. But that's not what you said.
So now you're just looking at me sideways. Now you just think I hear shit.
I'm looking at you upside down. So, so next question. Do you feel like you've been a good daughter?
I think I have. Like, I think I wish I was in a position to do more. Like, I
Yeah.
think everybody always wants to retire their parents and
Yeah.
all those different things. Like, like I've said before, my mom, as young as I could remember, like my mom still has jackets from my childhood.
Oh
Like
yeah,
she's
same.
always been like making sure me and my brother were good, and then it was like last and stuff like that. And she's always the first person I think of when I'm like, okay, if something doesn't fit, I don't want something, whatever. I always try to just give it to her
Hmm.
and like just I just want her to have, you know? And I think that like I wish that I was like making like crazy money and that I
Hmm.
could just like whatever
Give them
income
an allowance. Be like,
basically, yeah.
chill, have this. Yeah.
Like if I like basically like if the disposable income that would be gone if I had a child, like that's the kind of money I wish I was making to just like give them and to
Yeah.
just send them like random things and stuff like that.
I think that's part of where we mess up because I feel like for us, like because we're alive because of them, we always think that I can only repay you like by le- letting you relax, pretty much,
Yeah.
like putting you in a place where that is your whole life, and I'm just seeing more and more like, what the fuck? As much as I want to do that and buy them whatever it is that they need, or they've always been my safety net. I want to get to a place where I can be theirs. Like, I know that the time thing and spending time with them is important to both of them. But I'm just, like I said before, like sometimes I feel like I don't have enough time, and I always try to make sure that like I'm doing my best to find chunks of time. Because for both of my parents, in order to see them, I have to be with them for like 3 or 4 days at a time, just because of
Distance and stuff.
circumstances. So yeah, I try to be a good daughter. Like, my mom thinks I'm a good daughter, but like my dad makes me feel like otherwise sometimes.
I think he thinks you're a good daughter.
You don't know my dad. My dad will watch this and be like, "What's Taylor saying? Like, what like, I mean, it's so
Has she
real."
met me before?
Yeah, he'll be like,
Can she be for real?
"I don't know her," so I just
My
spoke
fault.
to you for him because I just know him. Okay. Oh my God! Like, I can't believe I wrote these questions. What scares you the most about the idea of losing a parent?
So when my grandma passed, she passed at night. And my whole family went to the house, whatever. And then when we got home, my uncle had already posted that like she passed away. And he had posted like, like on today, whatever, like I lost my mommy. And hearing my mom read that Facebook post, and she broke down and was like, my mommy. And I, now I'm going to cry. Oh my God. That day has haunted me because I feel like I saw my mom as a child, and it really clicked in my mind. I was like, my mom doesn't have a mom, and one day I'm not gonna have my mom,
Yeah.
and I'm going to, like, I call her mommy still.
Mm-hmm.
And it just like, I was like, this is gonna be me one day reading a Facebook post and being like, my mommy's gone.
Yeah.
And I just don't like that thought at all.
I mean, both of my parents have lost a parent, and I didn't see how it hit my mom because I was too young. So like I wasn't really a part of the grieving process at all for her. But I saw when my dad lost his mom, and he was like fucked, and I'm sure it still fucks with him. So yeah, I think about that. And when he was going through it, like I didn't have a close relationship with that grandmother, so I was just kind of like, my main concern is my dad. And, seeing a grown man cry is never easy. So that was that. And then I think about my mom kind of like mentally prepping for her mom to pass. And then she always tells me, like, here we fucking go. She always says, like, when she passes, I'm not going to be the same again. And then for me, that's hard because I'm like, well, what happens to my mom? So, ugh. I think before I'm scared of, my mom passing, I'm afraid of her passing. So there's that.
Why did we do this again?
Bitch, you pitched it.
I know. Why did I say this?
Like, why would you think I would follow through with an easy episode? Like, I've been trying to find someone to talk about this with, but I wasn't gonna pitch it first. I'm not gonna be like, hey, you wanna think about your parents dying? It's for my show. Like, why would I do that? Does the thought of them passing ever just like come up?
I had a fucking nightmare the other night.
Was it after this? Like, did you know that this episode was gonna happen?
It was. It was after we did our prep.
Oh.
And I remember in the dream, it was my dad. And I think it was a mixture of shit. I think it was, I was thinking about the questions that we talked about. And I think that like right now with where I'm at in life, I think one of the things that I'm really struggling with is people not communicating something with me to prepare for. And for some reason, my dad in the dream, it was like a sudden like situation. It wasn't like he was sick and like kind of like deteriorated and then like I had time to prepare. It was like he was gone. And I was crying because I was like, why didn't I get to prepare for this? Like I was like really mad. And I woke up and I was like, hey Siri, call dad. I don't like any of this shit.
Yeah.
And that was like really, 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 it just was a very unsettling feeling. I think that like, I don't know. I feel like I said, when death has hit in my immediate family has hit like other people and stuff, like I've seen it happen to like when my grandma passed, it was sudden, but she also had cancer. She died of a heart attack. And so we all were like, okay, she got surgery. She's fine. She's cancer free. Like, this is great. And then like a month later, gone.
Yeah.
And that was really hard. That was a mind fuck. And then like when my brother-in-law's mother passed away, she died from her cancer, essentially. And that was really hard for him to watch her pass away in that form. And I remember one day I was in the car with him and he was like, he would rather have family taken instantly than watching somebody die. Like it's really hard because it's like, they're just dying over and over.
Like
again.
you'd rather like they were just good yesterday than to be like they were suffering for the past year.
And that dream really put it into perspective for me. I was like, I think either way I'm gonna be a wreck.
Yeah.
But
you're welcome for triggering the dream and making you think about the future.
It didn't sit well. I didn't like it.
That's life.
I know. That's showbiz.
The show must go on.
Oh my God.
For me, it came up recently and that shit fucked me up bad. Like, me and my boyfriend were talking about like, you know, like let's say you were to propose to me and before I say anything else, daddy, he's not proposing anytime soon. We were just chatting about it before you're like, Erica's already thinking about this and she hasn't told. It's not that serious. But we were talking and he was like, you know, like when it comes to proposal, is there anything that you feel like, you know, should be like a non-negotiable? And I was like, I don't really think I have any for the proposal. I was like, I still to this day don't know if I want to be around people or not. It just depends how I wake up that morning. So my bad. You're going to have a terrible time
just
figuring that
checking.
out. Yeah. I was like, just make sure my nails are done. But like not with one of my ratchet sets, with one of my cutesy sets. And he was like, I don't know how to do it. I said, yeah, you just won't know. You'll figure it out. But I said, but the main thing is that for the wedding, my dad needs to be alive. And I had told him that and it fucked me up because it's just like I think about like my dad's health and how it's not amazing. That was me side-eyeing. I know he watches every episode, so I'm full on like, but I said that and like, you know, Josiah knows that when I'm about to cry and I don't want to cry, be quiet. Like just let me have a moment. I'm going to look up at the ceiling, try to get my tears back in my eyes, and I'm just going to continue the conversation. But, like, my voice cracked crazy when I said it live. The only reason it didn't crack now is because I had already said it before. Like, a lot of things I'm saying right now I haven't said before. And I don't know. It kind of fucked me up because for me, I'm like, she'll just get married tomorrow just to make sure that everybody's around. Like, it's just like, I'm just like, because my other non-negotiable, Petey needs to be there. Like, I need my dog there. So I told him, I said, you gotta propose and we gotta get married within the next 12 years. And that's me being generous, you know, because Petey, I expect to live much longer. But
Wait.
not than my dad. I just mean longer than 12 years.
Okay, because you side-eyed the camera when you said that. It was like...
That was more for the people who be praying on my dog's downfall, because there are some girls that... I got too many stories. But I got girls that come in to attack my dog. That they be like, her red-ass dog. And I'm like, okay. That was not about my dog living longer than my dad. If it were up to me, my parents live forever. But like I said, my biggest thing was like, I don't think I could handle, here I go. I don't think I can handle walking down the aisle by myself. And here I fucking go. Because if it's not my dad, then I would want my mom to walk me. And I know my mom, she's a sap. Like, she's not with my dad, but her seeing how hurt I am, we'd just be walking down the aisle fucking bawling. I'm just like, that's another thing I also said. For my wedding, makeup artist needs to be there the whole day. I don't care how much I gotta pay for him to be there the whole day, because I know I'm gonna be fucked. Like, I know that he's gonna get a weird sloppy kiss from me because my sinuses are gonna be fucked. And you know how you build saliva when you cry? So he's gonna get a nice...
Oh.
Yeah, like, it's...
Turn the road mic off.
It's not gonna be like a sweet, like, oh, look. It's more like, kiss me while I'm sobbing so I know it's real. That's what it's gonna be. The next question I have kind of speaks to what you said before. Like, are you worried about not knowing what to do when something happens?
Yes and no. I think that's where, like, I feel the privilege of not being the oldest. Because I feel like my sister knows she's in charge. Like, she'll let me cosplay when I want to.
She'll be like, can you hold these papers?
Yeah. And I'm like, guys, I have the papers. I know what's going on. Vanessa, what do I do with it?
Yeah.
So, like, it's like she's like, what is the guy from Despicable Me? Like, she's the guy and I'm the minion. Yes.
Oh my God.
And I'm just like the
We're
minion.
going to take over the moon.
I'm like,
And you're like,
literally, that's me and Barry. That's exactly how shit would play out. Like, my mom got her surgery 3 years ago. Vanessa couldn't be there. She lives upstate. I was there because I wanted to be there, but because Vanessa would have kicked my ass if I wasn't there.
Yeah.
So, like, again, I'm just a minion. It's her world.
You're doing your best.
I'm doing what Vanessa told me to do subconsciously in my sleep. So I think one thing that I am worried about is that, like, I'll have those conversations with really more my mom than my dad about, like, there should already be, and not because I think anything will happen, but just because life is life, like, there should be a document that has everything I would need to know. And I feel like my mom would be like, yeah, of course. God forbid, like 40 years from now, I'll be like, okay, we talked about this in 2025. It is 2050. Let me go find the document. And it doesn't exist.
Can you scratch that and say like something ridiculous?
Oh,
like,
it is year 3000.
Because you don't want to start marking shit.
I'm sorry.
You know how I am with power of the tongue. Like,
it is year 3000. I am looking for this document that
we living underwater.
And it's nowhere to be found.
Did you catch that?
Yes.
Okay. I was like, shit, that shit went whoop. What would you regret not asking your parents if, you know, universe forbid, God forbid, all things forbid, everything ended tomorrow for both of them?
Probably if they were happy.
Are you gonna cry?
I might.
Yo, use a wild card, because I'm like...
I just feel like they sacrificed a lot. Like my dad had my, why is this the shit that got me? Oh my
I don't
God.
know.
Like my dad had my sister at like 17. Like he had to grow up really fast. He grew up in the hood. Like he had a really, really rough life. And I feel like he's been a dad his whole, damn near his whole life. Like before his adulthood started,
Yeah.
he was a father. And there was a level of like selflessness that had to be there. The same thing with my mom. Like she lost her brother was murdered. And, you know, she was shunned from everybody she knew. She had to basically start a whole new life over while becoming a mother and all these different things. And like they've lived through so many decades, so many generations of just so many beautiful things have happened in life, but also so many hardships have happened. And, you know, I feel like I'm young. I have the opportunity to still have like that very like optimistic outlook. And the older you get, the less risk you can take. And I know that there's a lot of things that they really, maybe career changes that they wanted to do and all these things that they didn't do. And I feel like at the bottom of the line, I just want to make sure that they actually are like happy.
Yeah.
Like whenever that time is, I know I want to just be like, you know what? I had a ball.
Yeah.
And I feel like I just like
I had a time. Like,
I feel like if I looked at my parents and I was like, were you happy? And they were like, low key, not really. I would be broken.
no.
Like,
Yeah. I don't know what I would ask. I feel like I'm nosy. I'm really nosy. Oh, well, first off, how'd you guys meet? But that's not like I'm gonna spend the rest of my life wondering how my parents met. Like, but I'm really nosy. I've asked like very like specific questions. Like, have you ever done insert ridiculous sex act? Like I have asked.
I've never asked any of that and I never want to know.
I want to know because I need to know where I come from. Like I need to know like are my thoughts normal or is it because of you guys? You know, like and if it is because of them, I'm like, you know what? It's normal in my book. I'm all right with it. It's genetic. It's fine. But you know one crazy one? I would ask my dad how he found out I wasn't a virgin. Because he found out and then called me on some like sneaky whatever, like, is there anything you need to tell me? And I have my own theory about how he found out. And I want to feel like it's right, but he's so like, ooh, that like it's probably not. And that has been something I've always wanted to ask him, but I feel like I have to wait till like I'm a lot older because I think I'd still be like, I don't know, like my dad's weird like that. He'd be like, you'll never know. I want you to wonder for the rest of your life. And he'll leave it on a note on his deathbed. Like, this how I knew. Like, you know?
You know what's funny? I feel like he would fuck with you. You'd only write half of it.
Have me call up the guy. Like, yo, dude.
Then you're
like,
you're with the Ouija board.
Nah, like, oh my God. Like the guy he found out through, little side story, he was the only person that knew at the time. So it had to be out of his mouth. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
like,
no,
I didn't tell
it.
any of my girls at the time. The only person whose mouth it could have came from was his. So that's why my theory is somewhere down the grapevine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think how they met, how my dad found that out, if there's anything I have to ask my mom, I feel like I don't know what I should ask my mom because my mom has lived, and I feel like my mom's like me in that like she could go through some dark stuff and she'll never bring it up. And like I guess, but I don't know what I don't know. So I guess I would ask her, what don't I know? And we'll sit there for hours because I'm sure there's a lot.
Did I ever tell you what I asked my grandma?
Before she died?
No, my other grandma. She's still alive on my dad's side because my grandparents, they're all like in their 80s now. And so like they've lived through like the civil rights movement and stuff. And my great aunt, why are you already laughing?
Because I'm like, because this shit, like, I don't know.
Ask some bullshit. That's what.
Where is
because
this going?
My great aunt, who I no longer speak with, like she constantly shares about like, you know, the strikes and, you know, the cops like with the hoses and the horses and all these different things like that. She was a freedom fighter forever, whatever, cool. So my actual grandmother, her sister, don't really talk about that. And then my other grandmother, on my mom's side, she was a Jehovah's Witness. So like, she never talked about history ever. Like she never even really like mentioned like Obama being president like that. Like we won. Like what do we're not talking about this. So this was like a couple years ago. We're sitting at like dinner or whatever with my grandma, and I was like, Grandma, did you like ever miss segregation? I wanted to hear from somebody's mouth. I don't hear from
What
white
did she
person's mouth.
say?
She said at the beginning it was a little weird. She said she kind of missed the segregation a little bit, like at the beginning. And I believe her. That's her truth. That's her truth.
So what do you think life looks like after your parents are gone?
I think I'm gonna be a little lost, for sure.
Forever or for a little bit?
I think forever. Like I feel like there's a sense of just like you've moved out before, so you know that feeling of like, shit, I'm really on my own. And I just feel like that feeling is going to be so intense, and it's just never gonna go away.
Yeah.
Like when I moved out, I was like, okay, I'm on my own, I'm doing this, but I felt better because it's like, you realize you're not really alone. Like you're just living alone, and you're getting your life together or whatever. But like, it's going to be so different. I feel like a piece of my childhood is going to die. And I've already felt these feelings just again, like being a part of this, like almost like man-made generation in my family. Like I've watched my family evolve and grow, and I've seen my family where like when my sister got married and she became her own family, and just that dynamic changing and stuff. And it's different. It's very different than the childhood I had and stuff. So it's literally going to just feel like I'm in my own family unit now. Like I'm the mom.
Yeah.
Like I think it's just gonna feel so
like you're the backbone now.
Yeah. And it's just it's a weird feeling. And again, I keep bringing it back to my grandma just because it like the night she passed literally felt like my mom became the matriarch of the family.
Yeah.
And so that like it's literally like that baton just gets passed.
More thrown. Because
Really?
it's like it's not mine anymore.
That'll be easy. Like
No. For me, I don't want to think about life after them, but I know for me it's going to be hard. I know that one thing I do know is that I'm just going to find ways to, I don't want to say cope, because to me, like when you cope, it's not.
You think of it in a negative.
Yeah. Like to me, like coping isn't real. Like when you cope, whatever it is you're coping with isn't real. Like you're
pacifying
when you cope
it.
with a breakup and by hanging out and doing a whole bunch of things you're not supposed to, that's not truly coping. But for me, I feel like I'm gonna find ways to speak to them and see them without obviously them physically being here. Like my mom, super spiritual. Like my godmother comes to her in her dreams and like says really specific things that happen in real life, and it's the weirdest fucking thing. And I feel like, my mom's going to do it with me. Like I full on, like I don't have a single doubt that my mom's not going to make herself present in my life, whether it be through butterflies that, walk with me on some walks or whatever, or just like, messing with my lights or, just doing little silly stuff, coming up in my dreams, or like even like actually hearing her. Like I know that, I'll be lighting my candles and they're going to flicker like crazy, and it's going to be my mom being like, hey, it's me. And as for my dad, I feel like, he's not the type to be into all like the woo-ha-ha stuff that I'm into. He's not, he's just like, Erica, like when someone dies, they go. Like he's just, man, whatever. But recently, like he started having like weird like dreams and feelings and shit having to do with his mom. And he's like, maybe you and your mom was on to something, because I'm not crazy. He's like, I know I'm not crazy. I'm like, no, that's fine. Like she spoke to you. And his wife is Dominican. And she was like, I told you, because like Dominicans are the same, where they're like, now that shit's real. And when he told my stepmom, like, yo, like there was one night I think he felt like he like that she like touched him or something, or like put her hand on his shoulder, and she was like, yup. that's how it be.
Yeah.
And she was like, and that was her. Like, there was no like, now you crazy. She was like, I'm glad you finally believe us.
Yep.
Like, so,
Now you see it.
yeah. So like with my dad, I don't know. I just feel like when he shows up in my life, it'll be like in like annoying ways. Like I feel like I don't know. Like he'll just be like dropping stuff in my house, like or just flushing my toilet for no reason. Like, because I know, like he's a man of mischief now. He's gonna be a ghost of mischief when he's gone. Like he'll just be fucking with me, and I'm just like, you know what? If that's how
You
it
gonna
ends
have a
up
ball
being,
during Mercury retrograde.
stop. Like, don't put him onto that. Like, but yeah, like that's how I'll be able to deal with it because I really feel like you never truly leave. And that's just part of like, spirituality, religion, whatever you want to call it, when that comes into play and like puts me at ease with it. But no matter what, like I said, not hearing their voices, not being able to see them, not being able to talk to them, or like, when I have kids and for them to not be able to see like their grandparent, like there's a lot that I just don't like having milestones without them present.
Yeah.
Like it's just, like I talk about like when you lose a friend and like you think about all the things that they're not around here, they're not around for, that you can't go to them to talk to about. But it's like that stuff means nothing when, it has to do with the parent. Cause like all the other stuff is, I don't give
whatever.
a fuck if you're not around. Like you alive and you thriving, you're not talking to
Yeah.
me, so let's keep it that way. But like, like your parents is just, I don't know, you grow up thinking they're gonna be around forever. Like, and it's just hard to think that they won't be. So, is there anything you're gonna do different after this conversation?
I want to say yeah, but probably not. I probably still won't think about it too hard. I think one of the things I've been thinking about since moving like closer back into the city is I want to have routines with them. Like I want to go for walks with my dad.
That's just gonna hit you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like even the other day after our prep call, my mom asked me to come over and show her how to use the Bissell. I just did the whole chair for her. And I was like, all right, I'm coming tomorrow. I'll do the couch, whatever. She didn't. I was just like, whatever. Like,
yeah.
I think just having routines with them. Because I used to go to the gym like every Sunday with my dad. I'm the only child he's taught how to drive. Because he would tell me to drive to the gym every morning, every Sunday morning or whatever. And it would just be nice. It would feel nice to get back to that with them.
Yeah. For me, in terms of things being different, I think I feel like I'm already close to both of them, but I do want to be closer. Like, I don't know. We don't have enough time to waste. That's how it feels. But I still will get caught up in my head where it's like, I'm trying to do the most I can to see you a lot, but like I go through that shit all the time in my head, and I always feel guilt, and I always feel like I'm not doing enough. And then, my dad sprinkles in his little like, you hate your dad, don't you? And I'm like, Daddy, please, you're making this really hard. So, I don't know. I know I got my own stuff to work on. So, without getting too detailed, your girl's gonna work on it. But yeah, I think that this conversation is finally over.
Thank God. Mom, I love you. Dad, I love you.
Yeah, Shushu, I love you. Daddy, I love you. Because I call my mom Shushu, for those of you who didn't know. That's another story. But it's a short one, but we don't got time. So, yeah. What? You were going to say something?
No.
Oh, okay. Oh.
If I was, I forgot.
So thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. I don't think we could have healed anyone with this conversation, but I hope we comforted you, or made you think about something you never thought about before, because it is very real. This is very honest, and it's a lot of feelings. So figure out your feelings as soon as you can, because whatever. Okay, let me just say this. You can't prep yourself for this. Like, this isn't us preparing ourselves for when our parents are gone, because for all we know, we may react the complete opposite to everything we just talked about. But this is, at least we're thinking about it, and at least we're doing our best to figure out best ways to deal with it within ourselves before we actually have to. I think that's the important part. Like, get comfortable with speaking about these things with your parents, with your friends, with people you trust and stuff, and try to make it make sense to you, because that's all that matters. When you grieve, it's not going to make sense to anyone else. Well, you just got to know what works for you, figure that out, work through it. And yeah, that's the most I can say. But once again, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. Please give this 5 stars, thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe, you know, the works. And love on your parents a little bit more, because they won't be here for long. That's not a threat. I'm just saying. I'm just saying there's no time to waste. With that being said, thank you for watching for like the 3rd time. I will see you next week. I love you guys. Bye.
Bye.